Hey guys and girls, Bored Now back with you on this video. I'm going to be talking about One Day, episode 6 and episode 7. So full spoilers for both of these episodes as always. Yeah, pretty solid stuff, especially the second episode. So just to run down the two plots. The first episode, we get two very different big performances for Emma and Dexter. So Emma has settled down in her job as like a drama school teacher, and they have a big play on during the episode. We see her rehearsing with them, getting them ready for the actual night. She has also started to live with Ian, so they're a regular couple at this point. It's moved on about 3 years. Might have been only 1 year actually, but it's moved on a little bit. And at the same time, Dexter now has this quite big gig on like a late night music style show, and the sort of show it is very reminiscent of quite flashy music type shows that you got during the early late 90s, where it's in like an industrial warehouse type thing. You've got lots of glitz and glamour, but it's very kind of low budget and low rent. Really, it's just it's a staple of like late night TV where you've got attractive hosts and a studio audience. Very Ozone sort of feel, to name an example of that. But once again, he's in denial and things are getting on top of him. He's still got a drink and a drug problem. He has an attractive co-host at this point, and I'm not sure if they're seeing each other in the first episode, but when we see him in the second episode, they are in a relationship, though he doesn't really see that much of her. But they present it together. So episode 1 or episode 6, it's the two different performances. So it's Emma and her drama school that she's teaching. They're doing a big performance, and she talks to Dexter on the phone at one point, says, "Sorry, I'm not sure I can make it tonight, but I'll try later on if things aren't too hectic," because she says she's got something after the thing as well. And he's really nervous about his latest live show, because something which comes out in the episode is that he's getting slagged off in the press, like the performances, and he's being accused of being the most self-obsessed guy on TV, and this is something which people in his life are trying to shield him from, because actually in a more like subtle moment from the father, he leaves the voicemail and wishes him good luck, and also says pay no attention to the press because these people have never met you, which is a nice thing for the father to say. But yeah, this lets Dexter into the fact that the papers haven't been kind, and words start floating around, but you get a sense of him being wrapped up in cotton wool as well, partly because they just want him to go out and perform, because like the makeup artists and the producers are like saying we don't have today's papers in yet. So episode 1 is like that I saw tonight are the two different performances, and then episode 2, episode 7 is a big dramatic fallout between Emma and Dexter, and maybe the fact that Emma's life isn't quite going the way she planned, but neither is his, but in a very different sort of way. But yeah, episode 6 was very well done. I think the really cringe moment where the performance goes completely wrong was very, very well done. Like just him kind of accidentally spiking the water of his like co-host, and him just freezing like a rabbit in the headlights and not knowing what to say, especially when he needs to try and cover for her. And it's just very well done, and you also see the way these things go because it is live TV, and at one point she tries to joke it away, and she's pissed with him when they get off the camera, but she makes a crack about this proves it's live TV. And I've got to say, in these 2 episodes, Ian doesn't come across as the best. Like, he does come across as... And I think it's just that there's always this rivalry between him and Dexter definitely has digs at him in the second of the 2 episodes, but Ian doesn't really shower himself in glory during the episode, like him having a laugh at Dexter's expense when they watch the TV show later on. And we see in that scene that Emma still cares for Dexter because she does ring him up and leaves a voicemail because he's not around, but like it's very sympathetic and like encourages him. But I think the stuff with Ian in the episodes is partly this sense of once you start living with someone for quite a while, you do start to see their flaws more. Like the flaws stand out, and you do start to get on each other's nerves. And again, it's this thing of Emma starts to see holes in Ian, and that maybe this guy isn't as wonderful as she thought. And I think they definitely turn that up a little bit for dramatic effect, but that's what it's meant to represent. But he is getting on really well with her parents, because there's a scene where the parents call their house and they're actually calling to speak to Ian, not to Emma, and Emma's a bit sucky about that. It's like, yeah, they didn't really care before, had no interest in seeing me in London, but now that I've moved in and a boyfriend, it's all different. But the second episode, that tonight, episode 7, you get some really dramatic stuff when Emma and Dexter meet up again, and Dexter is, compared with his girlfriend, is not on the same sort of level really, because her presenting career has taken off quite a bit, because she's presenting quite a successful and credible like wildlife documentaries, wildlife show, and he's still stuck doing the normal run-of-the-mill type stuff. And you get this really awkward like dinner date that they have at this flashy sort of restaurant, and once again we see Dexter just slowly going off the rails, where he doesn't really pay that much attention to Emma. Like, she really needs to talk to him, and she's got a lot on her mind, partly the relationship with Ian, which she says at one point, and there are issues there, but Dexter doesn't really, he's so high on life and so into his own world at this point, he's not really paying attention, and he tries to make it all about him. And just the way he makes Emma feel small is like really painful to watch, and the actress does a great job in just feeling so small, like the way she presents herself in the scenes, and just all the stuff that's going on, and just the awkward conversations, like Dexter saying at one point, I've got like some journalist work that they're paying me to write like a restaurant type article, or to like comment on the food, that kind of thing. And there's just little moments like that where he takes offense to like Emma because he feels she's like demeaning him, and she's like, you're gonna write it yourself, which I don't think she meant in that way, but that's something which gets brought up later on, where Dexter feels that she does have this high and mighty sort of complex because she got her first at university, and she sees herself as being a bit more like kind of highbrow and that kind of thing, which I definitely don't think that's there, but there's probably always been this distance between the two because of them having different like aspirations. Because later on when he says like I don't think this is what you wanted in life, and he makes a crude remark about the relationship with Ian and a guy you don't even love but you're kidding yourself, and it just all comes out and it's such a car crash. But like Dexter, even if there are one or two moments where he does have a point, he's just a monster in these scenes. Like, he's totally obsessed with his own life, with himself, and he keeps flirting with like the cigarette case girl, the girl who sells cigarettes in the thing, and keeps disappearing to the bathroom. It appears as though he goes away to snort lines of cocaine. But it's just a really well done scene, and like a continuing scene as things slowly get more and more tense until they spill over, and Emma's outbursts, which have definitely been building throughout the scene, are like really justified. And again, some great acting between the two in these scenes, and she just lays it out at the end, and she's had enough of Dexter at this point. She just can't do it anymore, and her main complaint is that she doesn't feel that they're friends anymore. Like, he doesn't treat her as a friend, and I think that brings up a good point about how to try and maintain the friendship at the very least, even if there's no like romantic future. Like, that is the most important thing, and that you have to be there for each other as friends, as equals, at the very least, if you're going to have a future of some kind. And she feels like he hasn't been doing that, and I would probably agree based on what we've seen. But it's some great drama between the two, as I said, and a really dramatic end to the episode. And she goes home to Ian, who's had a bit of a rough night because he's been doing his stand-up, and like they hug on the sofa. She's very supportive of him, says, no, you're a really funny guy, and they just watch TV together. And that's sort of the contrast in a way, where I think sometimes with Dexter it's maybe a more exciting life, and there's definitely this charisma and this sense of adventure with him, but at the same time, sometimes in life it's just best to sort of stick to what you know, and also like just have some stability, have some reliability, and it's almost the devil you know, like Ian will always be here kind of thing. So you see her like pondering this as the episode ends. Like, there's a choice Suede song that they play, but like she's definitely wondering this, like, is this it for me? Like, am I just content? And also what I would say is the fact that she is has this respect from her peers as like a teacher, which we see in the previous episode, and they put on this great show, and there's just this respect for Emma as a teacher. I think that ultimately means that she is a success. She has made something of herself. Now, whether that means that's going to be enough forever is a different matter, but for the time being, I think she has done that. Because another quite obnoxious remark from Dexter is when he mentions about her and her aspirations of being a writer, and she mentions how she switched from writing screenplays to like writing a novel, and he makes a complaint of this, and he mentions that someone he knows who's like a screenwriter, she just says, you're either writing or you're not. Like, if you're talking about writing, then you're not. You've just got to get on and do it. which is like a fair thing to say, but the trouble is, as Emma points out, like maybe that person doesn't have a full-time job. She's talking about it in a way where it's not that simple, and so again, that was quite an obnoxious thing for Dexter to say, and he then goes a step too far, which she goads him into like saying, but he makes that cliched comment about that those who do, and those who can't teach, that old like line, and he says it in a really slow way, which just makes it very like awkward and very painful to hear, and that's the point where Emma snaps, and it's a great bit of drama in the episode. So yeah, two pretty strong episodes, especially the second episode with the fallout between Dexter and Emma, and definitely leaves you wondering if they do have a future. So that's One Day. Once again, episodes 6 and 7. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always. Keep watching TV, keep watching movies, and I'll be back soon. Goodbye.